All right, so you want to revamp your porch, huh? Get it ready for spring, make it a place where the whole family can hang out. Well, you've come to the right place.
We're diving deep into a fantastic article from WSV Groupie INC, packed with tips and insights, even stats, all about porch renovations with family fun in mind.
I'll be honest, when I first saw this article, I thought, okay, clean up, add some chairs, boom, done. But there's more to it than that, right? Especially when you're going for that family-friendly feel.
Absolutely. It's not just about making it look nice. It's got to be a space that, brings people together, encourages those fun family moments.
So starting with the basics, the article really pushes the importance of a deep clean before you even start thinking about decorations. I'm guilty of just like tossing a cushion on a dusty old chair and calling it a day, but I have a feeling they're emphasizing this for a reason.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Think of it this way. A clean space
Yeah.
that's like a fresh start, a blank canvas, like hitting that reset button, just like the feeling of spring itself, right? Renewal.
And I guess that goes beyond just the physical space, right? Like it clears out the mental clutter too, so you can really, see the potential of your porch.
Totally. It's about creating a welcoming atmosphere right from the start. You want it to feel inviting, not like you just, threw some stuff out there.
And speaking of inviting, the article mentions curb appeal, like how important that is, especially for home buyers. Makes sense, it's the first thing people see.
It's true. Your porch is like the cover of a book. You want to draw people in, right?
Point taken. Time to maybe roll up my sleeves and do some spring cleaning.
Yeah.
Now for the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Decorating. I'm already picturing those seasonal wreaths and those colorful doormats and maybe some cool planters overflowing with flowers.
It's funny how those little things, those details, they really tell a story. They let people know that, hey, this is a space we care about, a place we love. Adds that personal touch, turns a house into a home.
I never thought about it that way. It's not just about looks, it's about like sending a message. Come on in. We actually enjoy spending time out here.
Exactly. And speaking of making it your own, what about incorporating some wall art out there?
Ooh, that's a good idea. I'm kind of stumped on what kind of art works on a porch, though. Can't be too delicate, right?
You're right. It's got to be able to handle the outdoors. Think about, metal sculptures, framed prints under glass, or even those old vintage signs repurposed.
Oh, repurposing. That's cool. Like I could hunt down some old license plates or, those metal advertising signs you see at flea markets.
That's the spirit. Adds a touch of whimsy, some personality. Could even be a fun family project, hunting for those treasures together.
Okay, now that's an outing the kids would actually enjoy. But as much as I love decorating, I'm a practical person too. It's got to be functional, right? It can't just be pretty. It needs to work for actual family activities.
Definitely. We're not just going for looks here. It's about creating a space that, supports those spontaneous moments of family fun.
Right, right. So scratch those stiff, uncomfortable chairs. I'm thinking like plush outdoor sofas, maybe even a hammock for those lazy afternoons.
Yep. Comfortable seating is key for conversation, for togetherness. Think about creating different zones, a cozy reading nook, an area for family games.
A reading nook? Oh, yeah. Maybe I could finally put that old wicker chair from my grandma's attic to good use, loaded up with comfy pillows. That would be perfect for, escaping with a good book.
Don't forget about the lighting. It can make or break that cozy reading nook. Something soft and warm like a lantern or string lights would be perfect.
Okay, now you're talking my language. I can already picture those warm summer nights, the kids with their books, fireflies in the background. So peaceful. But we also need to think about family meals out there.
Of course. Dining outside is one of the best things about having a porch. You'll need a sturdy table, big enough for everyone, and comfortable chairs, the kind that make you want to stay and chat for hours.
Maybe a picnic table for casual pizza nights. The kids would love that. And wait, what about a fire pit? Roast marshmallows, tell ghost stories. The whole experience.
Fire pit, that's a great idea. Extends those evenings out on the porch, adds warmth and ambiance, even when it gets a little chilly.
Okay, you're making me want to skip the decorating and go straight to the s'mores. Seriously, though, this is all starting to sound amazing. I'm actually excited about spending time on my porch, instead of just using it as a storage spot for bikes and stuff.
That's the goal, isn't it? Create a space that pulls you in and makes you want to slow down, connect with your loved ones.
You've convinced me. I'm seeing my porch in a whole new light now. Not just a place to hang a wreath, but a real opportunity to create lasting memories with my family.
Speaking of creating, the article also mentions some DIY projects you could do. Add that personal touch.
Oh yeah, the DIY section. I was skeptical at first, like who has time for that? But now that you mention it, it's not just about saving money, it's about the experience of like building something together as a family.
You're right, it's about the process, that shared experience.
Yeah. I can already picture it. Me, the kids, covered in paint, figuring out how to use a drill. Maybe a little chaotic, but definitely memorable.
Those are the moments that stick with you, not the perfect Instagram photos. And they're learning problem solving, teamwork, all that good stuff.
And if it's a total disaster, we can all have a good laugh about it later.
Exactly. It's all part of the fun.
Yeah.
And speaking of fun, the article also suggests adding some outdoor games to your porch setup.
Oh, yeah. The games. Imagine.
Yeah,
Epic cornhole tournaments, cutthroat bocce ball matches. Family game night just got real.
it's not just about entertainment, though. These games, they get people moving, encourage friendly competition. And some of them, like botchball, involve a bit of strategy, too.
You're right. It's not just keeping the kids occupied, it's about engaging their minds and bodies at the same time. Maybe we could build a giant Jenga game out of scrap wood.
I love it. Creative, budget-friendly, and you're repurposing materials.
Mm.
Win-win.
This is all sounding fantastic, but let's be real. I'm a total newbie when it comes to outdoor design. What about the practical stuff? Like, how do I choose the right furniture and materials?
Well, the article goes into detail about choosing furniture that's both stylish and, tough enough to last.
So tell me, what kind of materials can actually stand up to the weather and not turn into like a moldy mess lifting?
You're going to want something weather-resistant. Think teak, aluminum, or even synthetics like HDPE or poly lumber. They all have their pros and cons, of course.
Okay, break it down for me. Teak, aluminum, synthetics. What's the deal?
Teak is a classic choice. It's got natural oils that make it really resistant to rot and decay, and it ages beautifully. It can be pricey, though.
Got it. So teak's the investment piece. What about aluminum?
Aluminum's great if you want something lightweight and rust-proof. It's pretty affordable, too, and comes in tons of styles.
Lightweight is definitely a plus, especially with my, shall we say, gracefulness. And what about those synthetics? They always seem, I don't know, a little plasticky to me.
Synthetics have gotten so much better. They can really look like wood now, but without all the maintenance headaches. And they're usually more budget-friendly than the natural stuff.
So it's about weighing the pros and cons, finding that sweet spot between looks, durability, and budget, right? I'm starting to think I can actually do this.
And don't forget the little touches. The article talks about adding colorful cushions and throws, things like that.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Textiles, they really add warmth and personality to a space. Make it feel more welcoming, more comfortable.
Okay, this porch is already sounding amazing. But we can't forget about lighting. I mean, that's what sets the mood, right? The article talks about both string lights and lanterns, and they have such different vibes.
That's where the whole psychology of lighting comes in. You see, string lights, they have this casual, whimsical feel, perfect for, relaxing get-togethers. Lanterns, though, they add a touch of elegance, a bit more sophisticated.
And get this, the article says that 70% of outdoor lighting designs use string lights. They're definitely a popular choice.
It's true, they do have that magical, inviting quality.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the best choice really depends on the kind of atmosphere you're going for. What kind of gatherings do you imagine having on your porch? Think about the mood, choose lighting that fits.
Great point. And finally, they talk about adding some landscaping, even if you don't have a ton of space. Vertical planters, specifically, such a clever idea.
Vertical planters are great. They bring nature closer, add visual interest, create that lush feeling, and you can grow a variety of plants, even if your space is limited.
And they even suggest planting edible plants and herbs, which is so cool.
Right. It's functional and beautiful at the same time.
Yeah.
Appealing to that, that self-sufficient side of us connects us to our food sources.
This deep dive has been so informative. We've covered everything from deep cleaning and decorating to furniture and lighting and even landscaping.
It's been a whirlwind. But before we wrap up this part, there's one more crucial element we need to discuss. Creating zones for different activities. We'll take all these ideas and put them into action. Stay tuned for that. Welcome back. So we were talking about all the elements of a great porch. The furniture, the lighting, the plants. But how do we make it actually work for a family?
It's funny you should say that. I was just thinking about how easy it is to get caught up in those picture-perfect porches you see online, And then I look at my reality, kids, toys, the occasional mud puddle.
That's why it's so important to think about the real-life stuff, the everyday chaos. It's not about creating a showroom. It's about designing a space that can handle, family life.
Okay, so less stage photo shoot, more family-friendly fun zone, but where do we even begin? I'm looking at my porch right now and it's basically a blank canvas, except maybe a few cobwebs.
The article talks about this idea of zoning, creating separate areas for different activities, like little rooms without walls, each with a purpose.
I'm starting to see it. So instead of just random chairs and tables everywhere, we're actually thinking about how each area will be used.
Exactly. If you do a lot of family meals outside, then a dedicated dining area is a must. If the kids love art projects, maybe a corner just for that with a table, storage, all that.
I love it. A big, sturdy table for those messy spaghetti nights. And maybe a chalkboard wall for the kids to, unleash their inner artist. But what about just relaxing, chilling out as a family?
A cozy lounging area is key for that. Think comfy seating, like an outdoor sofa or some big armchairs, perfect for reading a book or just chatting.
Oh man, a hammock would be amazing out there too for those lazy afternoons.
A hammock, perfect, especially if you get the space. It's like instant vacation mode.
And lighting is important for those different zones too, right?
Absolutely, you want to enhance the functionality, the mood of each area. For example, brighter lighting over the dining table so you can actually see your food, and then softer, more ambient light in the reading nook.
Right. I can't imagine trying to play a board game under romantic mood lighting. But then again, maybe that soft lighting is perfect for family movie nights under the stars.
Exactly. Different lighting for different occasions. And don't forget about transitions between those zones. You can use rugs, planters, even different flooring materials to kind of subtly define each area.
Oh, that's a good idea. Creating a visual flow without actually building walls.
Exactly. A colorful outdoor rug for the dining area, a softer, more textured one for the lounging zone. You get the idea.
This is all coming together. I'm ready to start sketching out my porch zones right now. But before I get too carried away, can we talk about involving the family in this whole process?
Such an important point. This porch isn't just for you, it's for the whole family.
I can be a bit of a control freak when it comes to design. I want everything to be perfect. But perfect is boring. I want this porch to reflect our family. Even if that means a little bit of organized chaos.
That's where the kids come in. They could be such a great source of ideas, of creativity, get them involved in the brainstorming, picking colors, maybe even helping with some of the DIY projects.
Family design meeting. I love it. Sticky notes, markers, maybe a few bribes in the form of cookies.
Those shared experiences are what make this so special. You're not just building a porch, you're building memories as a family.
I think that's what I was missing before. It's not just about the end result, it's about the journey, the laughter, the moments that happen along the way.
And those moments, they really strengthen family bonds. When everyone feels like they've contributed to something, they're more likely to take ownership of it, to care for it.
So maybe instead of nagging the kids to pick up their toys, they'll be more likely to keep their design masterpieces tidy. I'm sold.
Exactly. And while we're on the topic of design, let's talk about personal touches. Those little details that elevate a space from, generic to truly meaningful.
What always gets me? Those perfectly styled spaces you see in magazines. I always think, I could never pull that off. But maybe it's not about being perfect. Maybe it's about adding those little details that tell your family's story.
That's it, exactly. Think family photos, things you find at flea markets, maybe some artwork the kids made. Those personal touches add warmth and personality to a space.
I can see it now. A gallery wall with photos from our family vacations. Maybe even some goofy selfies we took on the porch swing.
Perfect. And be creative. Maybe there's a family hobby you can incorporate, or a favorite vacation spot that inspires the color scheme.
I'm already thinking about a nautical theme, inspired by our annual trip to the beach. Seashells, a life preserver, maybe even some ocean wave sounds playing in the background.
Love it. Those touches make your porch feel like an extension of your home, It tells your family's story.
Okay, so we've talked about zoning, family involvement, personal touches. Anything else we need to consider before we move on to specific design elements like colors and patterns?
Yes, there's one more crucial thing to think about, especially for families. Safety.
Safety. You're right. I tend to get so caught up in the design aspect that I forget about the practical stuff.
It's easy to do, but safety should always be a top priority, especially with kids around.
Okay, safety first. What do we need to keep in mind?
Well, first things first, make sure the structure itself is sound. Check for loose railings, wobbly steps, any signs of rot or damage.
Right. I wouldn't want anyone falling down the stairs because I was too busy picking out throw pillows.
It's about creating a safe and enjoyable environment. And if you have young children, you'll want to be extra careful. Make sure those railings are spaced close enough that they can't slip through. And gates at the top and bottom of stairs, those are a must.
Okay, gates, check. What about furniture? Any safety tips there?
Choose sturdy pieces that won't tip over easily. Avoid sharp edges and corners, especially if you got little ones running around. Rounded edges and soft corners, those are your friends.
No sharp corners, got it. And lighting, that's important for safety too, right? Don't want anyone tripping over toys in the dark.
Absolutely. You need enough light to prevent accidents, especially at night. Well-lit walkways, stairs, any areas where there's a change in elevation.
So it's not just about ambiance, it's about making the space safe and functional. And that goes for the area around the porch too, right?
You're on the right track. If your porch is close to a busy street, you might want to think about adding a fence or some landscaping to create a barrier, keep the kids contained.
Wow, I hadn't even thought about that. Okay, you've given me a lot to think about. I'm feeling much better now that we've covered the safety stuff.
Good. Now that we've laid the groundwork, let's dive into those design elements that will really bring your vision to life, starting with color.
Okay, bring on the color. I'm ready to transform my porch from drab to fab. But honestly, I get so overwhelmed by all the choices. Where do we even begin with picking the right colors?
Choosing a color palette can feel daunting, but it doesn't have to be. First, think about the style of your home, the architecture. You want your porch to complement what's already there, not clash with it.
Makes sense. I wouldn't want my porch to stick out like a sore thumb. So if I have a classic brick house, maybe I shouldn't go with like a super modern neon color scheme.
Exactly. Stick with classic muted tones that go well with the brick.
Okay, but what about personal preference? I love bright, cheerful colors. I want my porch to feel happy and inviting.
Of course, personal preference is important. It's your porch. It should reflect your family's style. What colors do you gravitate towards? What kind of mood are you going for?
I'm really loving those sunny yellows, vibrant blues, maybe even a pop of coral or turquoise. I want my porch to feel like a little escape, you know? Like a little piece of paradise.
Then go for it. Embrace those colors. Maybe sunny yellow for the walls with pops of turquoise and coral in the cushions, the decor.
I'm already picturing it. A bright yellow door, colorful pillows, maybe even of a fun patterned rug to tie it all together. It's like a mini tropical getaway right in my backyard.
That's the magic of color. You can transform a space and bring out those feelings of joy and relaxation.
So we talked about harmonizing with the house and personal style. Any other color tips?
Think about the function of the space, too. Are you going for a relaxed, casual vibe or something more formal and sophisticated?
Oh, good point. I guess the colors for a formal dining area would be different from a casual area where the kids are hanging out.
Right. For a formal space, you might choose more muted tones, classic combinations, navy and white, gray and beige, that kind of thing. But a casual space can handle brighter hues, more playful patterns.
So I'll save the bolder colors for the play area and go with something a little more chill for the dining and lounging zones.
Sounds like a plan. And remember, there are no rules set in stone when it comes to design. Experiment, have fun. If you don't like a color, you can always retank it. Or swap out cushions and accessories to change things up.
That makes me feel so much better. I get kind of paralyzed by fear of making a mistake. But hey, it's just paint. If I hate it, I can always change it.
Exactly. This whole process should be fun, creative. You're designing a space for your family, not a museum.
Okay, I'm feeling way less stressed about the color thing now. But I'm still curious about those color trends you mentioned. Any hot color combos we should know about?
Oh, yeah, definitely. One trend that's been gaining momentum is natural, earthy tones. Think warm browns, deep greens, muted blues, inspired by nature.
I can see that. It's like bringing the outdoors in, creating a flow between the porch and the yard. And it probably feels more calming and peaceful, right?
Exactly. Those natural tones have a grounding effect, perfect for a space where you want to unwind.
But I still want those pops of color. I'm not ready to give up my bright and cheerful vision entirely.
No worries, bright accents are still very much in style. One thing I'm seeing a lot of are those bold tropical colors, vibrant oranges, fuchsia pinks, sunny yellows.
Tropical vibes. I'm here for it. It's like instant vacation mode, even if I'm just having my morning coffee.
That's the beauty of color. It can evoke those emotions and really change your experience of a space.
So whether we go earthy or bright, the key is to choose what feels right for us, what creates the mood we want.
Absolutely. And mix and match. Combining different colors and patterns can make a space really interesting and dynamic.
I love that. It's a good reminder that there are no hard and fast rules in design. It's about expressing yourself and having fun with it.
You got it. Speaking of expressing yourself, let's move on to furniture.
Furniture, that's where we can really start to shape how the space looks and feels. So, what are the key things to consider when choosing furniture for our porch?
Well, comfort is number one. You want furniture that's inviting, comfy to sit on, whether it's for meals, lounging, or just relaxing with a book.
I'm all about comfort. Give me a cozy couch over a stiff, formal chair any day. And I'm guessing that's even more important for outdoor furniture, right?
Definitely. And there's so many options out there. Plush outdoor sofas, cozy rocking chairs, you name it.
Oh, a rocking chair on the porch with a cup of tea, watching the sunset. That sounds perfect. But besides comfort, what about durability? We were talking about weather-resistant materials before. Those are crucial, right?
Absolutely. Your porch furniture is going to be exposed to the elements, so you want materials that can handle rain, sun, maybe even snow, depending on where you live.
So teak, aluminum, and those synthetics like HDPE and poly lumber, those are all good choices.
Those are all excellent options. Teak has those natural oils that make it resist rot and decay. Aluminum is lightweight and rust-proof, and synthetics, they're a great alternative to wood, really durable, and they can look just like the real thing without all the upkeep.
So many options. How do I decide what's right for me?
It comes down to your budget, your style, and your lifestyle. Teak is a classic choice, but it can be pricey. Aluminum is a good middle ground, and synthetics are usually the most affordable option.
Okay, got it. So it's all about finding the right balance. And I love that they suggest adding colorful cushions and throws to make the space extra cozy.
Textiles, they're like the finishing touch, adding those layers of comfort and personality.
Okay, this porch is already sounding so amazing,
Yeah.
but we can't forget lighting. That's what sets the mood. And the article mentions both string lights and lanterns, which have such different feels.
It's all about the psychology of lighting.
Yeah.
String lights, they create that casual, fun, whimsical vibe, perfect for laid-back gatherings. But lanterns, they add a touch of elegance, a bit more sophisticated.
And get this. The article says 70% of outdoor lighting designs use string lights. They must be doing something right.
They do have that magical, inviting quality. But it really comes down to the ambiance you want to create. What kind of gatherings are you picturing on your porch? Think about the mood you're going for and choose lighting that fits that.
Great point. And lastly, they talk about incorporating some landscaping into the porch design, even if you're working with a small space. They mention vertical planters specifically, which is such a clever idea.
Vertical planters are amazing. They're like bringing nature right to your doorstep, even if you don't have a big yard. They add visual interest, create a sense of lushness, and you can grow all sorts of plants, even in a limited space.
And they even suggest planting edible plants and herbs, which is so cool.
Right. It's practical and beautiful at the same time. It taps into that, that desire for self-sufficiency, connects us to our food.
Wow, this deep dive has been so jam-packed with info. We've covered so much ground, from cleaning and decorating to furniture and lighting, even landscaping.
And it has been quite the journey. But before we wrap up this part, we need to talk about one more crucial element: creating zones for specific activities. That's where we take all these amazing ideas and turn them into a functional, cohesive design. We'll get into that in our next segment. Stay tuned.
Okay, we're back. And I don't know about you, but I'm ready to get down to business. We've talked colors, furniture, safety, the basics. But now it's time to make this porch a family hangout spot for real. Not just a pretty space, but a place where we actually want to spend time. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's about understanding how your family lives and plays, and then translating that into the design. It's got to work for everyone.
I've been thinking about that, actually. See, I have these big dreams of family game nights and movie nights under the stars, but let's be real. My kids are way more likely to be building forts out of blankets or putting on puppet shows. How do I create a space that encourages that kind of, free-flowing energy?
That's the key. You design for that energy. Instead of trying to force a specific vision, think about creating a backdrop for their creativity. Flexible seating, portable tables, maybe even a little stage area where they can put on their performances.
I love that. So it's not about controlling every detail. It's about creating a space that can adapt, right? That can change with their interests.
You got it. And the article has some great ideas for that. Outdoor games, a craft station. It's all about finding what works for your family.
Less Pinterest perfect and more, let's get messy and have some fun. I like the sound of that.
Exactly. And those zones, they don't have to be permanent. They can change as your kids grow. What's a play area today can become a teen hangout spot tomorrow.
Okay, let's brainstorm. They mentioned classic games like cornhole and botch ball. I can already picture those intense family tournaments, the trash talk, the victory dances, the whole 9 yards.
And those games aren't just for fun. They encourage physical activity, friendly competition, even strategy, especially with games like botch ball.
You're right, it's not just entertainment, it's engaging their minds and bodies. Oh, maybe we could even build a DIY obstacle course, using those old tires and planks of wood we have lying around.
Love it. It's creative, it's active, and you're repurposing. Bonus points.
And what about for those quieter moments? Maybe a cozy reading nook with a hammock or some big comfy floor cushions?
A reading nook is a fantastic way to foster a love of books, a place where they can relax and just get lost in a story. Maybe add a little bookshelf with their favorites.
And what about those family movie nights I keep talking about? Is that even possible with kids who, can't sit still for more than 5 minutes?
Of course it's possible.
Yeah.
The key is to make it comfortable, make it engaging. Think string lights, cozy blankets, maybe even a projector and a screen.
Oh, that sounds so magical. Popcorn, snuggles, maybe even some shadow puppets during the movie. This is going to be epic.
Don't forget the little details. A basket of outdoor toys, a chalkboard wall where they can draw or write. Those little touches make a big difference.
I love it. It's those details that make a space feel, special. And speaking of special, I think it's important to let the kids be part of the design process too, right?
Absolutely. It's their space too, after all. Give them a voice. Let them contribute their ideas.
I can get so focused on my own vision that I forget to ask them what they want, but I bet they have some amazing ideas, things I wouldn't have even thought of.
Kids are so creative, you never know what they'll come up with.
Maybe we'll even let them pick the color for their play area. Who knows, we might end up with a rainbow-themed porch.
And that's the beauty of family-friendly design, right? It's about embracing those surprises, those personal touches. The goal is to create a space that reflects your family, their unique style.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation. I started out thinking about colors and furniture, but you've helped me see the bigger picture. It's about so much more than that. It's about creating a space for memories, for connection.
That's what makes this so rewarding, right? You're not just building a porch, you're building a foundation for family bonds, for shared experiences.
Well said. This deep dive has been incredible. We started with a blank slate, and now I feel like I have a whole toolbox full of ideas to create the best porch ever.
It's been my pleasure. And remember, the most important thing is to have fun and create a space that reflects your family. What makes them happy, what makes them feel at home.
Absolutely. And who knows, maybe this porch renovation will spark even more family fun, more time together.
What unique elements will you bring to your porch to make it a true reflection of your family? What will make it your haven for shared experiences?
Ooh, that's a great question. We can't wait to see the amazing porch transformations you all come up with. Don't forget to share your before and after pictures with us. Happy renovating, everyone!